What If It's Cool is proudly brought to you by Respo Clothing. Feel like a champion by wearing the merch from all the stars, including Luke Resner, B Squared, Savannah Rowe, John Stop Action, Nova Nichols, The Cooters, and my personal favourite, Conflict Axiom. So feel like a champion by checking out Respo Clothing. They can be found on Facebook and on Instagram. The finals of the Alpha Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Tournament conclude at Alpha Pro Wrestling's All or Nothing, happening on Saturday, April 13th at the Pipework Market. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Before you see All or Nothing, make sure to check out Alpha Pro Wrestling's Energy 3, also happening at the Pipework Market. Entry fee is only $2. Make sure to check it out. Adrenaline Pro Wrestling presents Breakout 40, happening on April 26th, featuring the up-and-coming stars of Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. MXW presents Game Over, happening on Saturday, April 27th at the Sunbury Memorial Hall. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out.
Here we go again. He's still the champion.
Hey, my man. You know what you've done to me? Now I have to make an OnlyFans. So thank you.
Hey, you have to blame yourself for that because you're the one who outed yourself.
It's all your fault.
That's fucking disgusting.
Oh.
Hello and welcome to another episode of What If It's Cool, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is cool in the world today. I clearly am a rookie at all of this, Daniel Porcro, and on this episode, part 2 of my interview with James Marshall. Continuing on from the last episode, we talk about his departure from PCW, reuniting with Jason Krash, and talk about how he became the rookie ass kicker. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Reunited with James Marshall. Now, obviously, you said that you were only in PCW for a year.
Yes.
So, not to get into the negative side, but what prompted you to move on?
Oh, look, nothing negative. I would have... Look, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Nothing bad against PCW at all. It was just at the time, I think I just lost my job. And I simply couldn't afford training.
Yeah.
Look, training wherever you go can be fairly expensive. I unfortunately just couldn't afford it. And I said to Tricky and Ray, I said, look, I'd love to stick around, but I understand that, you know, I don't expect to be here for free. Rowdy even offered, he's like, hey, well, look, I understand completely, but, you know, even if you want to do some work for us, you know, hell, it might have been camera stuff. I don't know. I didn't pursue it further. But he's like, look, if you want to do some camera stuff and you can train with us in exchange for that, I'd love to do that because we really want to keep you around. But it just didn't feel right to me. I don't like handouts. Not that it was a handout, but I'd rather pay like everyone else. Whenever possible. If I can't afford it, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But that's the way it was, and I appreciate that he wanted to keep me around because he always told me I was entertaining and I had something cool to offer, and I really always appreciated that. But unfortunately, I just couldn't do it. And so 2015's Destiny Battle Royale was my last one, which I knew, I knew it was going to happen. And I remember at the time, I was talking with Ryan. Ryan didn't want me to go. And Kyle Grove, that's the name he was going by.
Well, that's what he goes by now.
Back then,
Carl, I say this as a joke, but he was called Socks.
I remember.
I know he doesn't like being called that anymore, but that's what he was called.
When I was there, he was. I think. I don't know if he'll kill me for revealing, but his original name, I think. I know I can't remember what his original name was supposed to be, but as he's come out for this battle royale, Tricky's called him Carl Killer. If I remember correctly, it's because Tricky just happened to forget, and he's just working on the fly as he does. I'm like, well, it's like Carl came out with the Slipknot mask on. It was sick.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's it. And I was very honored. I eliminated him from that rumble because then he said, he's like, I want you to throw me out. And that was really cool at that time because, like I said, everyone knew I was leaving. And I remember, I got to say this as well, whether he remembers it or not, but this just goes to show the kind of person Carl is. he offered to pay for my training to keep me there. Obviously, I said no. I'm not going to let you pay my way. But he said, no. You got to stay here. You got to stay here. I'll pay for your training. No dramas. No dramas. I was like, no. Like, thank you, but I can't do it. So just so you people know, Carl Groves is amazing human being.
Lovely human being.
But yeah, so in that match, yeah, a few people obviously we knew I was going, and my goal into that was I wanted to give as much as I could before I left. And look, it's just a battle royale at the end of the day. I know it's not some big main event match, which I would never have dreamed of that, especially back then. I was only a year into it, but I got to say my favorites. I've got a few moments from that I really, really loved. Was obviously being able to eliminate Carl. Grateful that he did that for me. I got to have a little bit of a interaction with Natasha Valentine, who was Natasha Webb at the time, because we were always really good friends at training as well, and we'd never done anything in a match. And I remember, how did it go down? I don't know. I said something very inappropriate, and she beat the living piss out of me, and it was just really good. And then I picked her up and threw her out. It was awesome. And then Lockie Moonwalker at the time he was going by. We did this little spot. We did like a pop versus rock spot. I don't know if you were there or if you've seen.
I was there. This is flooding back memories, and I'm like, oh my god, I missed this.
I remember. I think I don't know who pitched it, but I said, it'd be really cool if we do this. Look, I'm going. You've just come in. I think this is one of his first appearances. And yeah, let's have some fun with it. And then lo and behold, Billie Jean plays over the speaker and he hits me the leg drop and he yeets me out of PCW. And he's never let me live it down. He's never.
Wow.
Any single time something comes up, it's Lockie saying about how he threw me out. What a time.
Didn't he do that again when you sorry to skip a little bit further into the timelines, but because you were at another PCW event a few years ago, was he the one who eliminated you there as well?
No. So that I know the one you're talking about. I think that was just a one-off charity show that I was lucky to be involved with. We did have a little bit of an interaction. I was beating up someone. I was probably beating up Chase Williams or something, as is tradition. And I remember someone tapped me on the shoulder. I'm like, huh? And it was him. Hey, Marshall. Bang. Well, And I was like, no. I'm like, bang, hang on. I've got to go do. I had something planned with someone else, and I go to grab him. He's like, no, you fucking get back here. Bang. Oh, okay. But no, God. It was. I think it was Anthony Dangerfield who threw me out of that.
Oh my God, that's a name I haven't heard in so long.
Yeah,
man,
what a man, what a man.
The man with a 2x4. That's not. That's not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh God. So what? So after this, how long were you before you go back into wrestling itself?
So I can't remember exactly timeline stuff, but I know around that time, this was just before APW was starting up. Who was it? Someone reached out to me and said that there's a school opening in Cranbourne. Do you want to get back into it? Oh, it was a good friend of mine, Nicholas Farrell. May he rest in peace. He reached out to me and said, yeah, look, there's this guy in Cranbourne he's opening a school. Are you interested? And I said, you know what? If I can afford it, yeah, I'd love to. And I found out it was much cheaper. So yeah, and he sent me a link to this person to message, and lo and behold, it was Jason Krash. And it was a little bit awkward at first. I knew of Krash prior to that. He, again, whether he remembers or not is another thing. He reached out to me. I think I was still in PCW, and he's like, "Hey, we're thinking of doing this show or something." And at the time, I was like, "Oh," because I was still learning. I'm like, "Oh no, look, I don't know, man. Probably not." And then I obviously didn't speak to him again until that other day, but I deleted him off Facebook because I didn't. I thought it was just a one-off. I'm never going to see this guy again. Clean out Facebook, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
And then when I message him, like, oh, I've spoken to this guy before. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, hey, buddy. I hear you're opening a school. Luckily, you know what Jason Krash is like. He probably didn't even remember to look up the messages. So, but yeah, no, he's like, yeah, come on down, and we went to the old backyard where the ring was at the time, and it was weird for me at first because I hadn't been in the ring for like a year or two maybe, and when I was there, because he knew I had the PCW experience, there was that little bit of like compared to the guys that were there was like obviously I had a bit more experience, and it felt weird to me knowing the basics when these guys are fresh into it. And I'm talking about like the people that I remember the first people I met were Mike Chaos, the Warner Brothers, they were there. Oh, well, obviously TM Phoenix was there, and Zane Zodiac. And and it's funny, I remember I had never heard of Jason Krash, but because he was in PCW, he left just as I was coming in. But I'd always known the name Zane Zodiac from somewhere, and I don't know. I still to this day don't know how I knew of him beforehand. I think he was in PCW.
Yeah, he was in PCW.
He was in PCW. I may have seen him because he would have been really a lot younger.
I think he was like 17, 18 at
maybe.
the
time. But he forever looks young, so
he does.
Yeah, so but I remember when I heard the name Zane Zodiac, I was like, hang on, I swear I know you. And to this day, I don't know if I saw him there or if, who knows, it could have been on some backyard wrestling thing that I watched and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we go in from there, and that's when I got into APW.
Wow.
And then I could look. I'll say this: I've noticed with a lot of your other episodes when you've spoken to people, my name always comes up one way or another, and I'm very proud of the fact that I can say that a lot of people that we see now in the business, I'm not taking credit for anything, but I'm very proud knowing that I had something to do with them coming into it. Like I'll say this straight up right now, Nova Nichols was the first person who I contacted and said, hey, this guy's got a training school. Come down and train. I know you've always wanted to do it. I think she told you the story.
Yeah, she did.
Briefly. And like, mind you, we knew each other from school, but we didn't talk much. It wasn't until she came down to train that we got as close as we were. Sorry to kill the illusion. We do like to kill each other very often, but it's all in fun.
It's all fun. Come on.
What's
a couple of punches?
I'm going to kill you, Nova. But no, she came down. Then we got people like Blaze Elliott, Luke Resner, and of course, Blake Curtis finally came down, and he came down early in the backyard as well. Same with Blaze. So there's just so many names that I'm all my friends from school, all my close friends are now wrestling, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. It sounds really, really cool that man, this I'm not going to call it friendship, but this family that you guys have now it's just absolutely amazing. But how did I don't want to call her a moniker because it's not really a moniker, but how did it all start of you being called the rookie ass kisser?
Ass kisser?
Oh, sorry, ass kicker. Cut that bit.
No, so obviously, look, it's never been officially coined the term of rookie killer, rookie ass kicker, whatever. The reason for that is, I just like to wrestle people with less experience. This is not a dig on anyone who has more experience than me, but I'll say this right now: there's a lot of people out there who are 100 times better than I am, 100 times better than I'll ever be in the ring, right? And I'd love to wrestle them, but and this will be straight up. I get very intimidated when by how good people are. I'll be the first person to say there's a lot of people I'm like, oh, I couldn't hang with them. I'm sure they'd be like, no, off, let's have a match. It'll be great. And I've had a lot of people who want to wrestle me, and I was like, oh, I don't know, you're probably too good for me. But on the flip side as well, it's not because they're less experienced than me that I want to wrestle them. It's because I want to give them a chance of having a dope, fun, comfortable match for their first time, I guess. This is where it comes back to the shitty side of wrestling. Obviously, look, I'm not going to name anyone, but there's a lot of people out there who think because you're a rookie, you should just go out there and get your ass kicked and get pinned. I'm not about that at all. And I'll be honest, like the first couple of years in APW, I was the jobber. I was always it was always, oh, I've been doing this longer than you. I'm gonna kick your ass and I'm gonna pin you, and that's it. You're gonna get no offense in. This is just the way it is. And I thought that was the thing for so long, because look, it even happened at PCW in my first match. Someone came up to me, which I just want to say I love this person dearly now. I won't name them, but they at the time they came up to me and said, "All right, you're matched with Lee Burns. Forget everything. He's just going to kick the shit out of you and pin you, and that's it." It was Lee Burns that came up. It was Lee Burns that came up to me and said, "No, don't listen to him. You're gonna beat me up, and then I'm gonna get you. We're gonna make it believable. We're gonna make it look like we want to make you look like a real deal." So that's why I'm all like, these days, 2024, it's a lot better now. Everyone is there to help, especially in APW, right? APW, MXW, Alpha, everywhere that I wrestle. Everyone wants to help the up and comers, and it's fucking awesome. But at the time, that just wasn't the thing. Like, I'd have guys coming in who maybe haven't been wrestling as long as me, but they've coming in from somewhere else, and I was just the guy like, oh yeah, go pin him. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll pay my dues. It is what it is. But I don't think anyone benefits from you squashing a rookie day one. Like, because what's the point? I feel if you can make this person leave a good first impression on their first day, it's going to make it look even better when you beat them. And I think the first person I had as a rookie was Blaze Elliott.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, so it would have been APW New Beginnings 1, which that's when it was just that was a breakout premium live event, whatever you want to call it. Look, at the time I was very involved in the booking side of it, and I'm like, no, we've got these main show guys that put on amazing stuff, and let's showcase breakout. Let's give the trainees a platform on a Saturday night. We'll promote it like it's this huge, extravagant show. We'll go from there to show that we can do it.
Yeah.
And not to pat myself on the back, but I think it was a huge success. It was sold out. It was packed. The main event was Mike Chaos versus Micho. 3 stages of what was it? 3 stages of hell. It was some big fuck off match. Chaos ended up going through the stage, and it was incredible. And I'll never forget the pop when Micho won. Spoiler.
Is that the one that's on the Alpha the Adrenaline
yes.
YouTube channel? Yeah.
Yep. You'll find that there. That's where you can find my match with Blaze. This was Blaze's debut. And again, I'll be honest, I feel like I wanted to make a good first impression. I didn't want him to be just another guy who comes in and gets squashed. That's why I'm like, no, I want to wrestle this guy. And I remember I called. Actually, and I'll say this now. I don't know if Blaze has ever told you this story because I know you've had him on, but I remember the day that it was decided it was going to be him. He was, I think that week, that month, he was having a time, questioning wrestling in general because he'd been training for a very long time. He hadn't been given the chance to have a match yet, and like I understand being patient, but at the time, he was just like, what's the point? And I I called Crash and said, "Hey, look, I really want to have this match with Blaze. What do you think? Do you?" And Crash was like, yeah, "Look, I think I definitely think he's ready. Do you feel happy to do it?" Because at the time, a lot of people, you say to them, "Oh, we want you to wrestle this rookie." People, for some reason, say no. But I'm sitting there, no, I want to wrestle this rookie. And he's like, "Look, if you're keen to do it, let's do it." And I think it was I called Blaze and said, "Hey man, come over. I've got to show you something." And he comes over and I said, "By the way, it's me and you at New Beginnings." Cried like a bitch. But no, and I think it was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun in that match because I got to lead it. I like to be creative. I've got my own way. I like to do things and that sort of stuff. And look, rambling again, but Blaze listened. He gave his input, and I was happy to do the things that he wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And the biggest statement. I don't know if have you seen the match?
I have seen the match.
Pure adrenaline, bitch. Bang. And he slapped me so hard that I almost forgot what we were supposed to be doing.
I reckon once we finish this this episode, I reckon we should do an episode of Reaction Wrestling. We actually watch that rest together because I think that is one match that I watched maybe about a month ago, and I went, "Fucking hell!" Both of you were awesome in that.
Thank you. But no, look, that's overall. That's why I like to do those matches, because you want your first exposure to the audience should be a big deal. We want people to come back and be like, "Oh, I remember that guy. I'm going to come back to see him. I'm going to pay money to see this guy." Like, we know not necessarily people aren't the draws. Wrestling is the draw here, right? People come because they want to watch wrestling. But if they can come and be like, "Oh, hang on, I remember this guy from last time," they're going to come.
Exactly.
That's the way it is. And that's why I'm the rookie killer, because after that we had who else did I have?
You had Nova. You had
well, yeah, actually that's true. Nova was actually first. I did have Nova's first match in APW was against me at Winter War. And shameless plug, first ever intergender match in APW history.
Yeah, but I'm literally about to say that.
I will never not say that. And there's reasons behind that piss me off, but I will never not remind people that we were the first. And
was a fucking good match as well. I do thank you for sending me the clip of that, because that was.
I'm glad. Thank you. It was not. It was basic. It was nice and basic, but I remember the crowd was loud from start to finish, and it was actually my first ever win in my entire career. I'd never won a match before that.
Fucking hell! Yeah, I think yeah. Okay.
And I remember that, and look, probably the only reason I won that match is because I was more experienced. But didn't squash her. In fact, she threw me around like a rag doll. It was great. It was so much fun. But I remember the reaction. I was like, "Oh, so this is what it feels like to win." But then look, wins and losses do not matter. I'll be the first person to say it. Wins and losses don't matter in the grand scheme of things of what we do.
Thank you, Tony Khan. I get that, but the reason why I think that match worked as well, and again, that's another episode of Reaction Wrestling that we will be doing in the future.
Yes.
But we just got to get Nova on. But I think might do that after your little feud, because I that's better be a fun episode, not Hattie. Because we expected Nova to win by the end of it, but you managed to craft your way into getting the win.
Exactly. And that's why, again, it was just so much fun. But like even moving on from that, what I'm just trying to remember who else there was. Like I know, Jordan Sampson.
Oh, was he your first?
I
Oh wait, yeah,
yeah,
of course, yeah. He told me that too, and I saw that. Oh my
Jordan's
god!
and a bit of trivia here. I don't know if he mentioned it. I've known Sampson since primary school as well. Me
I did not know that.
back in the day when we were doing this backyard wrestling, it was me, Curtis, and Samson was there as well in that group. He was in that group of friends. I think he was in my class in prep or something. I've got
Wow.
we've known each other for so long, but obviously we went to different high schools. Me and Curtis went to one school, Samson went to another school, and we just lost contact until it was actually I just happened to he came up on Facebook and I'm like, oh, I remember Jordan, added him, and I think he even mentioned he saw one of my I shared that we're having an intake, and I remember I went to that intake. It was Chase Williams was there. I can't say his first name. Caballero Muerte. Is that how we say his name? God, I wrestled his first match too. But he was there, and Chase Williams was there as well. And I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, he looks familiar. And he comes up to me like, "Hey, go, mate." I'm like, "Oh my god, Samson. Hey, we hadn't really spoken in like 6-7 years since school." And I was like, "Holy shit, he's here now." And yeah, no, I asked. I said, "I want to wrestle Jordan. This would be really, really cool."
And again, like that match there, I was thinking that he was going to win because he was getting some really good offense. But then again, you got the win on that one.
Want my honest opinion?
Yeah,
he should have beat me. I think he should have beat me.
I disagree with that. I think it could have set him up for success on that because of the next match he did after that, he was just kicking goals.
Yeah,
right? That's like I get where you're coming from, but from a story standpoint, it was right for him to lose.
No, look, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, I suppose because that's right. That's when Curtis debuted as well, and yeah, I guess that makes sense then. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I was honored to be Samson's first match, and because the dude's amazing, honestly.
I just, I even said it on his episode, and I will say it to him again when he's on again. Put your shoes on because thumbtacks suck.
Try telling him that.
I don't know who. I remember it when he was in America. Someone put a whole bunch of thumbtacks on a cricket bat and spanked him with it. I went, no, please, God, no. I don't want to see this.
Oh, that's all right. In his head, he's like, "You're yeah, bro." Yeah. Just getting back on track.
But you've had stellar matches with some upcoming rookies. B squared, like
B squared. I was getting to. That was a lot of fun.
That match, as I said, if they had won, it would have been the perfect debut match because like literally both of you guys were. Oh, God, I don't blame Emilio for getting this stuck in my head. If Dave Meltzer watches Australian wrestling, that would have been a 5-star match. I had so much fun watching that, and then doing the reaction video with the boys as well was even more fun. It had everything. It had drama, had comedy.
It was a lot of fun.
Mate, it had even had nudity in it.
Diesel. Oh.
But no, it was great. But the one match that always lived rent free in my head, and again, this is not me plugging Reaction Wrestling Wednesdays, but I've done another one. The debut match of Luke Resner.
Oh God, I loved everything about that match.
I know you do, and that's why it kills me that I didn't get you on that episode. But at the same time, you were busy doing stuff, so
yeah,
hard to get you sometimes.
Again, that's another sort of situation. If you don't mind me rambling for the next 3 hours again.
Yeah, that's all right. We're already up an hour and a half at this point. So I'm guessing how I've cut this is probably in part of episode 2. So it's all good. Just keep going.
Right. Okay, so yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. Stay tuned for tomorrow as part 3 will be premiering at 9 a.m. wherever you get your podcasts. And with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Want more from What If It's Cool? Make sure to check out the YouTube channel where you can find the latest episodes of Muck Running Around, Reaction, and of course the vodcast. And don't forget to follow What If It's Cool on all socials. It can be found at What If It's Cool. Keep that support coming. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.